Hello everyone. My name is Rachel and I want to tell you my story. It's a story about family, sacrifice, and how sometimes the people we love the most can hurt us the deepest. This happened to me last year, and it changed my relationship with my sister forever. I am 26 years old. I have a younger sister named Lisa. She is 21 years old. When we were children, we were very close. We shared a bedroom and told each other everything. We played with dolls together. We did each other's hair. We were best friends. Our parents died in a car accident when I was 18 and Lisa was 13. It was the worst day of our lives. Everything changed that day. Suddenly, I became responsible for both of us. I was just a teenager, but I had to become an adult very quickly. I had to become a mother and a sister at the same time. After our parents died, we had some money from their life insurance. But it wasn't very much. I knew this money needed to last for many years. I had to be careful. I had to plan for the future. Lisa was still in school. She was a good student. She loved studying. She dreamed of going to university. She wanted to become a lawyer. I promised her that I would make her dream come true. I promised that she would go to university no matter what. That was my promise to her and to our parents. I started working immediately after finishing high school. I didn't go to university myself. I couldn't. Someone had to earn money. Someone had to pay the bills. Someone had to take care of Lisa. I found a job at a coffee shop. I worked as a barista during the day. The pay wasn't good, but it was something. Every month, I paid for our small apartment. I paid for food, electricity, water, everything. I made sure Lisa had everything she needed for school. New books, new clothes, school supplies, whatever she needed. When Lisa finished high school 3 years ago, she got accepted into a good university. She wanted to study law. I was so proud of her. She was so happy that day. She called all her friends and posted photos on social media. But university was very expensive. The tuition fees were high. The books were expensive. She needed money for everything. My one job at the coffee shop was not enough. So I found a second job. I started working at a convenience store in the evenings. I worked at the coffee shop from 7 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. Then I went directly to the convenience store and worked from 4 in the evening until midnight. I worked 7 days a week. I had no days off. I had no time for friends. I had no time to date. I had no time for myself. I had no life outside of work. But I didn't complain. This was for Lisa. This was for her future. This was my responsibility as her older sister. Every month, I paid her tuition fees. I sent her money for rent because she lived in a dormitory near the university. I sent her money for food and books. I sent her money for clothes and personal items. Sometimes I didn't have enough money left for myself. Sometimes I ate cheap instant noodles for dinner every night. Sometimes I wore the same old clothes for years because I couldn't afford new ones. Sometimes I walked to work to save money on bus fare. But I didn't tell Lisa about this. I wanted her to focus on her studies. I wanted her to be happy. I wanted her to have the opportunities one never had. She called me every week. She told me about her classes and her friends. She told me about parties and fun times at university. I listened and smiled. I was happy that she was enjoying her life. She was living the university experience that I never got to have. That was okay with me. I was proud of her. But slowly, things started to change. Lisa started to change. In her second year of university, she stopped calling me as often. When she did call, she talked less about her studies and more about her new friends. She talked about expensive restaurants they went to. She talked about shopping trips and designer clothes. She talked about vacations to the beach and concerts. I wondered how she could afford all these things. I was sending her money for basic needs, not for luxury items. But I didn't want to ask too many questions. I didn't want to control her life. She was an adult now. She could make her own choices. One day, she called me and asked for extra money. She said she needed it for law books. I was exhausted that day. I had worked a double shift at the convenience store because another worker called in sick. But I sent her the money anyway. I always sent her what she asked for. A few weeks later, she asked for more money. And then more money again. Each time, she had a different reason. Books, projects, student fees, emergencies. I started to worry. Where was all this money going? But I loved her and trusted her, so I kept sending money. Then last summer, something happened that broke my heart completely. Lisa came home to visit during her university break. I was so excited to see her. I cleaned our small apartment from top to bottom. I bought her favorite snacks and cooked her favorite meals. I took a rare day off from work, which meant losing money that day. When she arrived, I hugged her tight and cried happy tears. But she seemed different. She looked at our apartment with a strange expression on her face. She looked at the old furniture, the worn carpet, the small kitchen. "You still live here," she said with disappointment in her voice. "This place is so old and depressing." I felt hurt by her words, but I tried to smile and be positive. "Yes, but it's home," I said. "It's where we grew up together. It has all our memories." She sat on the sofa and immediately took out her expensive new phone. She was wearing designer clothes and shoes that I recognized from fashion magazines. She had a new handbag that probably cost more than my monthly rent. I wondered again how she afforded these luxury items. During dinner that evening, I asked her about university. "How are your studies going? Are you enjoying your law courses? Are you excited about becoming a lawyer?" She shrugged her shoulders like she didn't care. "It's okay, I guess. Kind of boring sometimes. There's so much reading." Boring? She used to be so passionate about studying law. She used to talk about helping people and fighting for justice. What happened to that dream? Then she started talking about her friends and their wealthy families. "My friends are so amazing," she said with excitement. "Jessica's father is a famous surgeon. Mark's mother owns a chain of hotels. They go to the best clubs and restaurants every weekend. They travel to Paris and London during holidays. They have such incredible lives." I listened quietly while washing the dishes. Then she looked at me and said something I will never forget. "They always ask me what my family does. I don't know what to tell them. I mean, what do you do, Rachel? You work at a coffee shop and a convenience store, right? That's kind of embarrassing to admit to them." I felt like someone had stabbed me in the heart. Embarrassing? My 2 jobs were embarrassing to her. The jobs that paid for her entire life were embarrassing. I turned around and stared at her in complete shock. My hands were still wet from the dishes. "Lisa, I work 2 jobs to pay for your education. I work every single day, 14 hours a day, so you can go to university and become a lawyer. I gave up my own dreams for you. How is that embarrassing?" She rolled her eyes at me. She actually rolled her eyes like a spoiled child. I know. But still, when my friends talk about their successful families and their parents' careers, I have nothing impressive to say. My sister is just a coffee shop worker and a convenience store clerk. You're kind of a loser, Rachel. You have no real career. You have no education. You have nothing. Loser. She called me a loser. My own sister. My baby sister. The sister I raised like my own daughter. The sister I sacrificed everything for. I couldn't speak. I felt tears filling my eyes, but I didn't want to cry in front of her. I didn't want to show her how much she had hurt me. I quietly dried my hands on a towel, turned around, and walked to my bedroom. I closed the door and sat on my bed in the dark. My whole body was shaking. My heart was broken into a million pieces. How could she say those terrible words to me? How could she be so cruel and ungrateful? The next morning, Lisa left very early. She said she was going to stay with a university friend who lived in the city. She wanted to go shopping and to fancy restaurants. She didn't apologize for what she said the night before. She didn't even seem to realize that she had deeply hurt me. She just took her expensive bags and left. After she left, I sat alone in the empty apartment and thought about everything. I thought about the last 8 years of my life. I thought about all the sacrifices I made for her. I thought about all the times I worked until my feet hurt and my back ached. I thought about all the dreams I gave up so she could have hers. I thought about all the times I went without things I needed so she could have things she wanted. And she called me a loser. I cried that day. I cried for hours until I had no more tears left. Then I made a difficult decision. I picked up my phone and called Lisa. She answered after several rings. "What?" she said impatiently, like I was bothering her. I could hear her friends laughing in the background. I took a deep breath and tried to keep my voice steady. "Lisa, I need to talk to you about something very important. I've been thinking a lot since last night. I don't think I can continue paying for your university anymore." There was silence on the phone for a few seconds. Then she laughed. She actually laughed like I had told her a funny joke. "Are you serious right now? You're joking, right? This is because of what I said yesterday? Don't be so sensitive, Rachel. I wasn't joking. My decision was final. No, I'm completely serious. I've been working 2 jobs for 3 years. I'm exhausted all the time. I have no savings for my future. I have no life of my own. I've given you everything I have, and yesterday you called me a loser. You said you're embarrassed by me. You said I have nothing. So I think it's time for you to take responsibility for yourself and your education." Now she wasn't laughing anymore. Her voice became panicked. "Rachel, you can't do this to me. I'm in the middle of my degree. How will I pay for it? What am I supposed to do?" I felt my heart breaking, but I stayed strong. I had to be strong for myself this time. You can get a student loan like millions of other students do. You can get a part-time job. You can work while you study. You need to learn the value of money and hard work. You need to learn what sacrifice really means. She started yelling at me through the phone. "You're supposed to take care of me. You promised Mom and Dad. You promised you would always be there for me. You're my sister. How can you abandon me like this?" I closed my eyes and tears rolled down my face. "I am your sister. And I've taken care of you for 8 long years. I've given you absolutely everything. I've worked myself to exhaustion for you. But I'm not your slave. I'm not your personal bank account. You need to respect me, and you clearly don't respect me at all." She hung up the phone angrily. Over the next few days, she sent me many messages. Some messages were angry and accused me of being selfish. Some were begging and pleading for me to change my mind. Some tried to make me feel guilty by bringing up our dead parents. But I didn't change my mind. I had made my decision and I stuck to it. I stopped sending her money completely. I kept working my 2 jobs, but now I was saving money for myself for the first time in years. I started to build my own future. It felt strange at first. I felt guilty every single day. I worried about her constantly. But I also felt something I hadn't felt in years. I felt free. Lisa had to get a student loan for her final year of university. She had to find a part-time job at a restaurant near campus. She complained a lot at first. Today, our relationship is much better than before. Lisa graduated from university last month with her law degree. She's looking for jobs at law firms now. She works hard and stays humble and grateful. She calls me several times a week just to check on me and see how I'm doing. She thanks me constantly for everything I did for her. She tells all her friends about what an amazing sister I am. And I finally quit one of my jobs. I only work at the coffee shop now during normal hours. I'm saving money to maybe go back to school myself. I'm thinking about studying business or maybe teaching. Maybe it's not too late for me to have my own dreams and my own career. I learned important lessons from this painful experience. I learned that sacrifice is important and beautiful, but you cannot let people take advantage of you, even if they are family. I learned that sometimes you need to let people struggle and fail so they can grow into better humans. I learned that respect must go both ways in any relationship, whether it's family or friends or romantic partners. And I learned that it's never too late to stand up for yourself and demand the respect you deserve. If someone calls you a loser for working hard and being responsible and sacrificing for others, they are the ones who need to change, not you. Hard work is never something to be ashamed of. Sacrifice is never embarrassing. Love and dedication are never signs of weakness. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps someone out there who might be in a similar situation.